Hello, Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, I'm actually surprised that I have not given this lesson or any of the ideas in this lesson today in the community, because for me, how do I put this? This has probably been one of my practices that I can wake up in the moment, right? I mean, you got to be awake to even do this, but to actually be able to do this, give it up in the moment. And I will talk about specifically, obviously, what giving it up means, but being able to do this in the moment, I feel quite possibly like it's the biggest, most grand display of my self-development. Being able to cut the shit, right? Cut the shit on myself and actually declare to my reality that I am giving it up, right? My position that I'm holding, my argument that I'm making, my stance that I'm taking. And this video is going to come right after one of the videos that inspired me to then give this lesson, which was standing your ground. A lot of times it is absolutely necessary and pertinent for you to stand your ground as a human being, especially when you have set the vector of your flow and you are going towards your intention and encountering people, events, information, stuff that is seemingly against you and your intentions. Developing an ability to be able to stand your ground is crucial to your arrival and you getting to where you are going, right? At least this has been my experience. Giving it up is also absolutely, hands down, without a doubt, just as valuable. Because oftentimes, and again, I'll speak from my own personal experience, there's heart and mind coordination, right? And there's pure intention. And then there is will and there is ego. When something is intended for you and you are destined to see that thing through, standing your ground, transurfing style, and going with the alternatives flow and all that stuff is the way that you're going to get there, right? When you are working from a place of will or ego in your life, in your external environment, with the people that are in your life, this is probably coming from, and again, from my own experience, a place of previous programming, prior programming, an old program, right? This is me maybe not following what it is that I'm preaching here. Evidence to support all theories, the golden rule of reality transurfing. Allow yourself to be others, allow others to be themselves. And when this sort of version of myself takes over, which it happens, right? We are not going to be 100% transurfing 100% of the time. There are going to be times where we are going to revert to reactive snail mode, right? To prior programs that have been running in the background for decades. We are going to fall into those old patterns of behavior. And being able to call yourself out on your own shit in the moment, is so powerful and fun and enlightening. And it's really like, talk about letting go of the rock. Talk about letting go of the rock. You're like not only letting go of the rock, you're like diving off the rock into the alternatives flow and declaring yourself, like you're abandoning a position of you clutching onto a rock, or, you know, expelling energy, trying to argue something or convince something or work some bullshit intention that isn't necessary, right? Isn't necessary. And again, speaking from my own experience, this is exactly the moment that I realize it's time to give it up. Just give it up and do it. And I'm going to tell you what it is that I do exactly. And I'm going to challenge you watching today to do it today, one time. Just one time, remember this video and do it. And you will see how damn liberating it is. It's awesome. Before I get started, remember to like this video, comment below, like, subscribe, all those things. Do them to this channel. Reality 2.0, Tufty 2.0 down below. Links to all our stuff. Join us on Facebook, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so 1. This is going to be my 5 steps to giving it up. And I'm going to give you some personal examples. Because it's always entertaining to watch someone declare being wrong, right? And it's hard for us to do it ourselves. And this is really where our humanness, right? Our human nature works against us. Again, this is splashing your hands on the water and not going with the alternatives flow. Not being able to give it up is not transurfing. It is the antithesis of transurfing. So these 5 steps are going to help you to tap into this, act a little bit more today. And I really, really hope that you see an opportunity to do this. And I would comment it below if you do it and you remember. Come back to this video and comment below. I want to hear how you did it. That's a double dog dare. Okay, so 1, first ask yourself in the moment, and I'm going to explain exactly what giving it up means as I move through these. So in the moment that something's happening to you, right, that is against your intentions. It could be like an argument with somebody, an argument with a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a husband or a wife or a parent or a coworker or something like that. Or some sort of conflict, or you trying to make something happen and it's not going super easy, right? Stop yourself. So wake up in that moment and be like, I see myself, I see my reality, which is actually one of the steps here, but you kind of have to do that in order to enter into this equation. So you're gonna, I see myself, I see my reality, right? Something's not going my way. I'm embroiled in some kind of conflict or argument, or my intention is not matching up with somebody else's intention and there's conflict. Something isn't working. Ask yourself, what am I holding on to and why am I holding on to it? Okay, what am I holding on to and why am I holding on to it? Now again, things that are intended for you, your flow towards your higher version of reality. You don't have to fight for that stuff. All of that stuff is going to come with ease. When you are in these moments of conflict, this is again probably coming from an old program, like a should, I should, they should, something isn't lining up with my expectations. Importance levels are huge, super huge. So ask yourself, what am I holding on to and why am I holding on to it? So what am I holding on to? Let's say me with an argument with my partner, right? What am I holding on to? I'm holding on to my idea of how I think things should be. Why am I holding on to it? Because I want to be the one in control, right? This is pretty much my main trigger, if you will, for how I find myself into one of these situations. I'm holding on to something because it's not working the way I think it should work, and I want to be in control is the why. Okay? So when I enter into this state of being that I'm so familiar with, I can stop myself now and be like, no, wait a second, you're doing it. You are doing it right now, Renee. Right now, you are doing it in this scenario. This is the first step, realizing when you are doing it, whatever doing it means for you. This is my example. I'm sure some of you know what I'm talking about, but maybe some of you have something very different looking like, you do it in a context where you retract inward, or you do something else as a reaction to something. Whatever it is, whatever version you're experiencing of you not in flow with your reality, fighting something, splashing your hands in some way, and acknowledging what it is you are doing and why you are doing it. That leads us to step 2. I see myself and I see my reality. So I see myself. I see what it is I'm doing. I see why I'm doing it. I see how this is influencing my reality, maybe creating the conflict, adding, it's fuel to the fire. I see where that stuff goes. I see what that stuff creates in my layer of reality, the essence of that product, how it affects my layer of reality. And I'm not happy with that, right? I want something bigger and better and higher. So I see myself and I see my reality as kind of just like looking at the situation and seeing this isn't what I want. I see my part, and now it's time for me to give it up. So that leads me to step 3, check in yourself. And this is by far the most uncomfortable step, I think, when you're not used to doing this, right? And I actually had a conversation with my sister about this when we drove up to Oregon, and I was talking about this ability to give it up more quickly. And she's like, this is an extremely heightened state of awareness when you can do this. And I really started to think about this process and what leads up to the process. This part of the process, checking yourself. I like to call it checking yourself before you wrecking yourself, because this is sort of the place where you do, in fact, wreck yourself. And then what happens after, right? After you wreck yourself, if you don't check yourself, and what happens after if you check yourself looks very, very different than if you had not checked yourself. It's mind-blowing, the different versions of reality, of experience, checking yourself and then not checking yourself, and letting that runaway train just kind of go through your reality being destructive, right? So checking yourself is you checking your will. It's you checking your ego. It's you saying, I'm holding on to this thing, and it's causing me conflict in my life. It's causing me emotional tumult. It's causing my state of being, my frequency, to be of a lower nature. It's not helping me experience the version of reality that I want to experience. So I am going to stop right now what it is I'm doing, and I am going to call it, right? I'm going to give it up. I'm going to give it up. Now, again, advanced stuff, because we are human beings that are trained by ourselves, our environment, the people in our lives, to hold firm and not give up what it is we're fighting for, and go kind of like into this maze and sort of just keep navigating, trying to force that square peg into that round hole to the best of our abilities, and destroying our layer of reality in the meantime. This is exactly why divorces happen. This is exactly why wars get started, right? People not willing to back down. So are you willing to back down the next time this happens? Is this something that you feel you're capable of doing? And not only backing down, but backing down in a way where you can kind of show it off, make a display of it, and allow the others in your life to see you growing, to see you developing, to see you obtain the ability to check yourself before you wreck yourself. It is super fun, it's super cool, and it's super different. And I really hope that you have an opportunity to try that out today. Okay, so 4, after you've checked yourself, declare yourself abandoning your position. This is truly working against your ego, or calling your ego out. So again, me using as an example of me arguing with my boyfriend. So let's say I want something and he wants something different, and I'm going at him, right? I want this thing, I'm not going to back down, stopping myself. What am I holding on to? Why am I holding on to it? I'm holding on to something that honestly, I'm just holding on to because the importance levels are high and I feel challenged, so I want to grasp, right? And why I'm holding on to it is because I want to be in control. So I see myself, I see my reality. I decide this is not working for me. This isn't good for me. This isn't good for my mindset. It's not good for my layer of reality. It's not good for my partner. I check myself. I'm going to give it up. And now I'm going to show my partner in the moment that I'm capable, willing, and able to give it up. So I declare, oh my God, I'm totally full of shit. I'm totally full of shit. You are right. I am clinging onto something that actually doesn't have any intrinsic value for me. It's all fabricated importance and ego and will. And I'm really sorry. I'm going to back down off my position, and I'm going to let you have your way. I mean, I don't say it exactly like that. I'll say, hey, I'm really sorry. I see what it is I'm doing, and I'm not going to do it anymore. You can have what it is you want, and I'm not going to fight you on it. When you can do this in front of another person and actually allow yourself to back down in a way that's theatrical like that, you get a lot of points. I'll say that much right now. You get a lot of points, and people are not used to seeing that. So that can kind of like daze and confuse someone to the extent it's really like advanced transurfing, where then they're like, no, wait a second. So what did you want again? It's almost like you're giving in you giving it up. And it just completely changes the entire dynamic. But it's an act that you can fall back on to chip away at that ego, right? Chipping away at the ego. So declaring to yourself that you're abandoning your position, and then declaring it to your environment. So 5, and this is where the real self-development comes in, and it's a perfect place to end this video. Remember this moment and change the future behaviors that led you up to this place. This is it. This is the growth. Giving it up, checking yourself, calling yourself out on your own bullshit, going through these steps, And then remembering, okay, this is what I typically do. This is why I typically do it. This is how it affects me. This is how it affects my layer of reality. This is how it affects my relationships. Next time I see myself start to portray any of these behaviors, I'm going to nip it in the bud before it even starts to get out of control. And I've got to get myself to a place where I do need to check myself. This is growth in its absolute purest form, in my opinion. This is you obtaining the ability to really, really see yourself and see the parts of yourself, especially within your relationships, that contribute to conflict or you being toxic, right? You being toxic, me being toxic, being able to say, I can be toxic and call myself out, giving it up when I am in fact being toxic. So what do you think of this video? I challenge you today to give it up at some point, or come back when you have found that opportunity where you can say, you know what, I'm giving it up. Run through these steps, give it up, come back here and tell us all your dirty little naughty things that you've done to get yourself into a position where you needed to give it up. And we can all learn from each other. So let me know what you think of this video. Good one, and have a good day, guys.